And I would like to welcome everyone really quickly. My name is Deetra Miller. I am the Director of Member Relations and Engagement here at Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. And it is my pleasure to welcome you here to talk more about our Minority Business and Enterprise Grant. Now, I would like to introduce to you a member of our committee that is well known throughout Winston-Salem and Forsyth County for everything that he's involved in. He's going to share a little bit with you about why this grant was created, the purpose of it, and who it's for. Mr. Bill McLean.
Well, thank you, Ms. Miller, and thank all of you for coming on the call today. It is with a great deal of pride that I represent our committee members. I think I was drafted, but I'll take that in stride. Some time ago, over a year ago now, I was approached by actually Don Flo, and we had a conversation about the plight of minority businesses and actually how minority businesses were already struggling, and then with COVID hit, it just made it even more difficult. And so as a result, the conversation got started about Minority Business Enterprise, a grant. And the idea of the grant was to provide some assistance to minority businesses and Latino businesses to help them through this time of dealing with COVID. And at the time, of course, there was no funds available. I think somebody needs to mute. At that time, of course, there was no funds raised, but we knew that we had to come up with a goal and objective. And so we sat down and we talked about the fact that we wanted to improve the business success of minority businesses and Latino businesses, and that we wanted to help them have job retention, because we noticed that a lot of minority businesses were losing employees during this COVID time. And that we wanted also to help these businesses create some jobs. And so as a result of this conversation, the Minority Business Enterprise Grant Program got started. And thanks to some wonderful members, I don't want to start calling names, but I'm sure Deidre will call out the names a little bit later. The members of this committee sat down and put together some ideas and some thoughts as to how we could best serve these minority businesses, because so many of these businesses were going out of business as a result of COVID. And so this is how we got started. We're now moving rapidly. Our first cohort has gone through the process, and I consider it a great success. The Greater Winston-Salem, Inc. has come on board and provided services to help these businesses and to help this committee. And we all are just quite thankful for the collaboration that has been developed. And now, with our new leader, Deetra Miller, we're just looking forward to the future.
Thank you very much, Bill. I would not say I'm the leader, but I am the liaison to a group of leaders who have so diligently and so passionately put themselves on this committee to help our small business community with these grants. So let's talk a little bit about the grants. First of all, what are the amounts, or what is the amount? The grant amounts are up to $25,000. Last year, for the first cohort, the minimum amount that was received was $2,500, and that went up to the $25,000 mark. So what you'll need to do today is listen very carefully to what the terms and conditions are of the grant and what the eligibility requirements are to make sure that you fall in those categories and that you're able to get all of those pieces together before you actually apply for the grant. Now, the application will open, God willing, the creek don't rise, will be Friday, October the 8th. Again, Friday, October the 8th, you'll be able to go to our website and click on the link to apply for the grant. And we'll have listed all the information over today for the eligibility requirements and the additional documentation that you'll need to submit with your application. And it's really important that you submit everything that we request so that your application is accepted. Also, one of the benefits of applying for this grant and receiving it is membership with Greater Winston-Salem Inc. So if you've ever been a member of a chamber of commerce, or you've been urged by other business owners to be a part of a chamber, this is going to be your chance to do so if you are a recipient of the grant. But if you are not a recipient of the grant, membership is still open to every single business owner in Forsyth County and Winston-Salem. And I would love to talk to you about that at another time. But speaking of the additional benefits of being a grant recipient, I'm going to turn it over to Alan Younger, who's going to talk about some of our wraparound services with this grant.
Thank you very much, Deetra. And I'm glad to say that in Winston-Salem, Forsyth County, there are a lot of organizations that are committed to the success of small businesses. And I'm going to mention 4 of them to you, but just know that there are more than 4 that are out there. The 4 that I want to mention are, well, I'll just mention them. One of them is called Maximum Enterprises, which many of you are familiar with, the Triad Minority Women's, let me get it right, Triad Minority and Women's Business Expo. Let me say it again. Triad Minority and Women's Business Expo, which was held on August 28th. Some of you participated. I'm glad to see some familiar faces, and some of you have participated in the past. Maximum Enterprises is led by Reginald McCaskill, and they provide a bunch of services, not just once a year, but throughout the year, that can help you to be successful. Let me read what he sent to me to share with you. We facilitate the sharing of knowledge and building of professional relationships within the Triad minority business community. Our events provide a forum for people to meet and exchange ideas. Our events are specifically designed to maximize opportunities for meeting contacts, obtaining new business leads, and ultimately increasing revenue. So one of the things that Deetra is referring to when she says wraparound services are organizations that can help you to be successful, whether or not you get this grant. However, connecting with these organizations will increase the likelihood that you will get this grant. The next organization is called Financial Pathways. Lorena is on here. Lorena Munoz Holiday works with Financial Pathways, and they refer to themselves as your financial first responder. We're here to help you achieve your personal financial goals. So a lot of that focuses on the individual, not just the business, but with small businesses, a lot of times a big part of the small business financial success is contingent on individual personal success. Another organization I want to mention to you is called Soy Emprendedor. Carla Mounts, I'm not sure if I saw her name on the screen, but she's the founder of Soy Emprendedor, which means I am an entrepreneur in Spanish. Soy Emprendedor is a nonprofit organization that is designed to inspire entrepreneurship and a growth mindset in minority communities. So if you're not already connected to these organizations, we definitely invite you to do so. And the last organization is the organization that I lead, is the Small Business Center. On the screen, you'll see our website address. If you don't see it, just put it in the chat and I'll respond to you with the address. And we provide a number of events, educational events that can help you to learn about different skills so that you can be more successful. And one particular set of events we're starting this Wednesday called Pathway to Success. It's a 7-part series that talks about starting and managing a business, writing a business plan, how to find customers, good things like that. And we also have a team of business mentors that you can meet with one-on-one. These services are provided to you at no cost because we've been funded by the state legislature since 1984. And in particular, if you go to the website that's on my Zoom screen and you scroll down to a green button that says counseling and mentoring, then you'll see a list of the 28 business mentors who would like to meet with you. And next to their names, you'll see specialties. So specifically, they can help you in a variety of ways. Some of them, one of the specialties that's listed is grant application. So that's where we are today, right? So I encourage you to go in there and make an appointment with one of those persons. And then when you meet with them, which will be before you submit the grant, you'll be able to ask them clarifying questions to increase the likelihood that your grant will be accepted. So I encourage you to make an appointment sooner rather than later. That's all I want to share right now. There's a lot more information that I could share about each of these organizations and other organizations that are in our entrepreneurial ecosystem that are all designed to help you to be successful. With that, I'll shut up for now, Deetra.
Oh my goodness, Alan, thank you so much for sharing all the wealth of services that are available through our partnership with Forsyth Tech. Thank you so much. And now we want to hear from someone that was a part of our cohort last year that was a grant awardee, Miss Janae Adams. So I'm going to turn the mic over to Janae so she can share a little bit about what her experience was with receiving the grant. Janae?
And thank you all for having me, and thank you, and hello to everybody who is on here as well. I would say it's definitely a wonderful program. I was, of course, one of the first recipients of the grants. And I will tell you all this, when they said that, make sure you have your paperwork together, you need to have your paperwork together. And so before you turn anything in, look at what they are asking for and start looking for it immediately. So as soon as you see those requirements come out, I don't know if you all want to talk about it today, but start looking for it so that you can turn everything in at one time. It was, like I said, it was a really great experience. I love the awards show that they did, and all the celebration that they did before we even came on there, and people, our family and friends were able to join us live to see it as well. So I just really, really enjoyed the whole process, and I was thankful for the grant. It helped me to have a virtual assistant up until now. So because I had her, thanks to the money, we were able to make more money, and she's still with me today. and also with the marketing as far as Facebook ads and Instagram ads, I was able to use that. And the money that I received for them, I have been able to multiply that. Of course, with the same Chamber of Commerce is also a great part of it as well. So it just was a really good opportunity for me. I'm glad I took advantage of it, put everything in, and really took my chance, because it really paid off.
Janae, thank you so much for sharing your testimony and how it paid off for you and your business. That is so exciting. I'm so glad you're here. And for those of you that are here today, if you didn't know, if you applied last year, you can apply again this year. So just a heads up for that. All right, now I want to turn the mic over to our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Nick Reed, who is going to talk a little bit about the required documents that Janae alluded to, having that paperwork together. It's so important. So with no further ado, Nick.
Hey, Deetra, thank you very much. I just wanted to quickly run through the required reports that we need to be attached to your grant application in order for the committee to consider it for this year's funding. And I can't say it enough. Probably the most important thing is when you are looking to apply, please pull down the application beforehand, because once you log in and start the process, if you log out, unfortunately, it's not going to save your progress. You're going to have to go back in and do it all over again. So please, walk through the application on the front end, look at all the questions, put your responses together, and we'll walk through the required attachments that need to go to your application. So I'm going to share my screen real quick and just give you, we've done a couple of examples of what potentially maybe a grant budget may look like. So the first requirement that you're going to come to in the application is a proposed grant budget. So this is how you're telling the committee how much money you're requesting and how you plan to spend it over the next year. This is broken out by month. You can see in this example, we've got Ice Cream LLC. Who doesn't love ice cream? We've got it broken out by our personnel, our occupancy, maybe some capital equipment we need to buy, some supplies we're hoping to buy with this funding, and then other, marketing and different things that we need to continue our business and make it a success. So this is just a quick snapshot of what we're looking for. This will help the committee, again, to identify how much you're requesting, how you plan to spend it, and over the period, which is you have a year to spend it, how long it's going to take for you to spend those funds. So the next request that you need to add to your application, and I'm going to scroll down, is your P&L, or your profit and loss. And what we're looking for is your profit and loss for the period of January of this year, of 2021, through September 30th. And we want to see, in this example, again, to carry on the ice cream example, we've broken out our sales for the year that we've received, our cost of sales for those, for those purchases to make the ice cream, and the various paper products to come to a gross profit, and just showing the other operating expenses that we've incurred. So we've paid our staff, we've had our rent, our utilities, maintenance, we've run into some software and equipment that we purchased for the year, and then we've had some marketing and other operating expenses. By no means is this, the only way to do it. But again, this gives the committee a snapshot of how you're doing for this year overall, from a revenue and expense standpoint. You're trying to give them just a quick snapshot of the health of your organization for that time period. The next requirement that needs to be attached is your 2022 budget. And I know you're like, Nick, it's October, we haven't even gotten into 2022. Well, we want to see, how your organization plans to move forward in 2022. So in this example, again, Ice Cream LLC is hoping to make $750,000 of revenue. Going to run into some cost of those sales of $425,000, gross profit of $325,000. And then again, we're looking at what expenses you're going to have for 2022. So to pay your staff, to keep your lights on, your rent, potentially maybe any capital you need to buy. I want to make sure people understand this is for the entire organization. The first budget is just for the money that you're requesting. This budget is for the entire business, the entire organization for 2022. The next attachment that we've got that we want to see is the W-9, and this is the informational return. This is very important for us to obtain this information from you so that we can identify your business. And also, if you receive a grant, we are required to issue a 1099 to you if you receive more than $600. So as Dietrich already alluded to, we awarded, the committee awarded $2,500 to $25,000 last year. So a 1099 was required. This is a document that needs to be attached. We have an example of this document on our website. There are instructions behind it that help walk you through how to complete it. If you have questions, I know Dietrich's going to let you guys know how to get in touch with us. We're happy to help walk through this. It's a very important document. Again, it's informational purposes for us, but it helps us to learn a little bit more about your organization. And then the final attachment that we'd like to see is, your business bank account. So we want to see, we got Ice Cream LLC. Here's the bank account for August. So your most recent bank account, we'd like for you to attach. Again, this is something for that the committee wants to see. It helps to see your financial health. It helps us to show you're in business. It really just gives the committee a great snapshot of, how you're doing, where you are, you're in business, all those things that are required by our grant. So Dietrich, I will pause there and turn it back over to you. We will make these documents available if somebody wants to see it. Just an example of what we would like to see and attached. And again, I'll reiterate the last thing Dietrich said. The committee is only going to look at the applications that are fully completed. So that means you've got all your attachments, you've answered all the questions. If you don't have a complete application, it will not make it to the committee for review.
Fantastic. Nick, thank you so much for sharing all of those documents that our applicants will need. And as Nick said, these document templates and examples will be on the landing page for the application for you to review. And as you could see on everything that Nick shared with us, he talked about ice cream. So I don't recommend that you start your application hungry, because you're just going to get hungrier as you look at more and more ice cream lines all over these templates. So at any rate, how do you apply? Where do you go? You're going to go to our website, winstonsalem.com/ MBE Grants. I'm going to put that in the chat for you as well. Right now, the application isn't open. Again, it will be open on Friday, but we're going to make sure that the documents you need are on that page so you can go ahead and take a look at them and get things together. Nick has done such a wonderful job putting together a template for the budgets and things that you need. So if you don't have your own already set up, you can use these templates and it'll walk you right through what you need to do to get all that information input and ready to go and upload with your application when you sit down to apply on a full billy, because again, all that ice cream talk might make you hungry. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else about the application. You know what might be a good idea? I've got here a PDF I would like to share with you that highlights a couple of things that are on the application. Again, the application is online. This happens to be a PDF where we're going to just show a little bit of what you're going to see. And in the first section, you'll notice what the grant application process is. Again, the grants open this Friday, the application opens on Friday. The application will close on Friday, November 12th. So you have a little over a month to get all of your required documentation together and apply for the grant. If you have any questions about the terms and the process, it's going to be in the first section of the application. You'll notice here in the grant terms that we have the reporting dates listed for you. So if you have any question on how to report, when to report, what to report, if you need help, our contact information is going to be on the website too. But I'm going to give you that email address. It's grants@winstonsalem.com. Again, I'm going to drop that in the chat as well, and you'll be able to find that information. Some of the other things that are going to be asked of you, this is a biggie right here. Do you agree to the grant process and terms? So again, this information here, the terms and the application process, that's going to be right there at the beginning of the application. Read it thoroughly, because you're going to be bound by these terms and conditions if you receive the grant. Super important. Then there's going to be the basic information that you've probably been asked a million times in regard to anything about your business. What's the name of your business? Do you have a DBA? What's your tax ID number? Are there other owners in the business? What's the address of the business? What's your website? What's the business structure? Are you a sole proprietorship, an LLC? Things of that nature. Again, as Nick mentioned before, we're going to have that current W-9, so you'll attach that, the type of business that you're in. And there are more questions. There's about 7 sections to this. Don't let that, don't let that hold you back. Just because it sounds like it's a long application, it really isn't. It'll be super, super easy. Maybe I shouldn't say easy, but it'll be super smooth for you to get the information and add it to your application to apply for this grant. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to stop sharing this PDF version of the application. And we're going to open up for Q&A right now, because I know we shared a lot of stuff really quickly, but we want to make sure that we end on time as well. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to unmute yourself. You can also put your video on and ask anything.
Deidre, there are also some questions in the chat. You may want to start there.
Okay. Thank you for that, Alan. Let's see what we've got here. All right, so Tanisha says, do you have to live in Forsyth County, or do your business have to be registered in Forsyth County? We want to make sure that your business is located in Forsyth County. So you can live anywhere else, but your business needs to be a Forsyth County business. All right, another question here. And let's see, is there a reporting template or proposed guidelines for the quarterly reports? Nick has put together some great templates that we're going to make available on the website, winstonsalem.com/MBE grants. Will the committee begin evaluating grant applications as they are received, or only after the deadline? Because we are probably going to get a lot of applications, the committee will begin reviewing those in phases, if you will, between the opening and closing of the application process. Do you have a total amount that will be given through grants? So if the question is what the overarching amount of grants will be that will be funded, I can't really answer that question. I can tell you last year, $229,000 in grants were awarded. I don't know how many will be awarded this year, but I'm sure it's going to be close to at least 200,000, but that is going to be up to the committee. How many grants will be awarded? Again, that will also be up to the committee. So last year, I believe it was 22 grants that were awarded, a total of $229,000. All right, do we have some more questions?
Hey, Dietrich, this is Calvin. Really great job articulating you and Alan. I only jotted down, Alan, the 2 of the 4 organizations you mentioned at the beginning. I got Maximum Enterprises and, of course, the Small Business Center. What were the other 2?
Financial Pathways and Soy Emprendedor.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, so Promise, it looks like you were asking if you have a DBA and your mailing address is in Greensboro, can you apply for the grant? Doesn't matter if the mailing address is in Greensboro, as long as you're doing business here in Forsyth County, if that makes sense. So you may have a mailing address at a PO box at a Greensboro post office, but your storefront, if you will, where you're doing business, where the state of North Carolina has you listed as doing business is here in Forsyth County. If that's not the case, I urge you to come to the other side. Just come this way.
Dietrich, this is Brenda Diggs. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I want to just give out the dollar amount that we have that we will be using for this grant cycle.
Okay.
It is last year, as you stated, it was 229,000. It will be absolutely equal that amount this year, up to 229,000.
Thank you
And
so much.
I heard someone ask that question, and I wanted to make sure we cleared that up.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Brenda. Will the
Ms.
recording
Dietrich,
be
good
shared?
afternoon.
Yes, the recording will be shared with everyone. I'm sorry. Yes, Nadia.
Good afternoon. I had a grant last year. Is there any chances to reapply for this year, or I am not? I mean, I'm sharing with other companies and other friends to come in and apply, but as a
Fantastic.
personal.
Thank you for doing that. Yes, you may apply again as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, well, it is 4:28.
This is Magali. I'm
Yes,
sorry again. I keep going in and out. So I didn't hear the answer to Brittany's question about how the applications will be evaluated. Are you all waiting? Can you repeat the answer to that question?
Oh, I didn't hear that question. How will
The
the
chat, it
applications
says,
be?
will the committee begin evaluating grant applications as they are received or only after the deadline?
Actually, they will begin evaluating in phases because we'll probably receive a lot of applications, and to give the committee 200 applications at once would be a little tedious. So we will be giving them the applications in phases for them to evaluate throughout the application timeline from the opening of October 8th through the closing on November 12th.
And with that, can you clarify for me, if someone submits an application and the committee starts evaluating it, and maybe there's something that's not up to par per se, since the deadline has not been met yet or haven't received, will y'all follow up with that person, or once you submit it, it's kind of locked in?
I would say that we will probably follow up. No, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. We'll follow up if there's something that is missing or incomplete. But the way the application is set up right now, that's why we're stressing that you need to make sure that you have all of your paperwork together and uploaded along with your application. There shouldn't be anything missing, but if there happens to be something missing or we have a question about something, we're definitely going to follow up with you. You won't be tossed out simply because we didn't understand something, or if you thought you uploaded something and we didn't receive it. There will be follow-up.
Deidre, this is Brenda Diggs again. I do think it's important to stress for those who may be concerned that there may be some review of applications before the deadline. That is to make certain that the committee has everything. There will be no decisions made at all until we have all of the applications in and have reviewed all of those. But it helps if we have, as she said, a large number to at least determine if all of the documentation and everything that's been asked for is included. So I don't want anyone to be thinking that there's a fair advantage or unfair advantage for those that come in early as opposed to those that come in on the day of the deadline.
Excellent point, Brenda. Thank you very much for that. There's a question here. Will the amount given be for each winner? Excuse me, will the amount given for each winner be determined from a whittled down list, or do the amounts get decided at the time an application is submitted? Amounts are not decided when the applications are submitted. That will happen afterwards. And that will be to the committee's discretion. Does that make sense? Did I answer that?
Hi, sorry.
Hi, Brittany.
Hi, just to clarify what I was saying, are the amounts determined based on an individual application, or do you get 10, let's just say, finalists, and then from the 200 or so thousand, say, okay, you get 25, you get 2,500, or, you know, like, is it based on the strength of the individual application, or I'm just kind of a little bit unclear about how the amount gets decided?
Well,
So
in each
I'm going to let
may I
Bill-
respond?
Okay, sure, yes.
In each application, you are to enter your budget as to what the funds are going to be used for and the amount that you need.
Okay,
And then the committee would make the determination, once, if you qualify for that amount, and secondly, if we have that amount available for you.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you, Bill. Thank you very much.
Hey,
Hey,
Deidre,
so
one last
ahead.
question. Will there be a need for a media event? You know how sometimes you win a contest and you have to pose with the mayor or pose with Mark Owens for media publicity purposes. Is that part of the fine print of the contract?
No.
No, I haven't seen anything about that. No,
But
no.
we do have a celebration at the end of the year.
Okay,
And
just thought I would ask.
last year was done virtually and was quite successful.
Got it. Thank you.
Gwendolyn finds it real funny.
Thank you.
Oh, my goodness. Well, are there any other questions that we need to tackle?
I have one
Yeah.
more. I just wanted to know, so I know that Mr. Bill was saying that, you know, you put the amount you need and what you need it for. So say, for instance, if you all feel like we don't qualify for that amount, will y'all just decline us completely, or will they just let us know what we can receive?
I think we will let you know what we can do.
Okay.
In some of the cases last year, there were some pretty good grants, but there were some decisions made that maybe they were asking for more money than they needed at that particular time. And we have to consider that because we're trying to spread this out as far as we can and service as many people as we can. So you may ask for 15,000 and you may not get but 10 or 12,000.
Okay.
But if you have a good solid grant, we will do our very best to make sure you get something.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Hey, Deidre.
Yes.
Okay, this is a wonderful call and there's a lot of beautiful information. Can I share, where can I find this recorded so I can translate for the people that is really interested, they just text me and said, I need you to translate this, and I don't know if I can get it back, so they can get all that information.
Guess what? We're doing this again on Wednesday at 2 o'clock in Spanish.
Amazing, that is fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm gonna let them know that. That's so exciting.
Perfect.
Sorry, I
So
missed that
if you go
information
to
because I came
our
a little bit late.
website, there's
Yeah.
a link on our website to register for
Excellent,
the
that's
Spanish.
so exciting.
So you don't have to
Perfect.
translate unless you want to, but we're going to
Well,
put the recording as well as the Spanish recording on our website as soon as we can.
that is fantastic. Thank you so much. I will let them know.
Okay, perfect. Do we have any other questions? Okay, great. Well, I do want to take one moment to thank everyone that is on our Entrepreneurial Advisory Committee for this grant. They include Alan Caldwell, Brenda Diggs, Dwight Lewis, Reginald McCaskill, Bill McLean, Hazani Mitchell, Carla Mounts, Lorena, I am going to mess up your name, Lorena Holiday, Randon Pender, Jasmine Stover, and Alan Younger. Thank you so much for your time and dedication to this grant funding program. We really appreciate it. And
Deidre,
yes, sir.
before you go, the committee wants to say thank you to you and to Greater Winston-Salem Inc. for partnering with us.
You're very welcome. It is our pleasure to be a part of this. And again, you know this from being in Winston-Salem for years. Greater Winston-Salem Inc., formerly the Winston-Salem Chamber of Commerce and Winston-Salem Business Inc. Our heart is this business community throughout Forsyth County and Winston-Salem, whether it's a small business or whether it's a large business. And we want to see people succeed. And especially with what happened with this pandemic, that's where all of this stemmed from. You know that. And there are a lot of people that believe in every single person that wants to succeed in this business area. So I'm proud to be a part of that. I'm honored. Absolutely. Okay, so I am putting in the chat right now the link to where you're going to find the information for the application when it opens this Friday. Also on that page, we will have the information or the templates that Nick went over. And I'm also going to include an email address for you. If you have any questions whatsoever, our team will follow up and answer those questions for you. Everyone that signed up or registered through our website for this session today will receive an email with additional information as well. So again, thank you very much. And I just have one more thing that I would like to request, if you don't mind, for those that are still here, if you would add in the chat how you found out about this session today. If you found out through a friend, through Facebook, through LinkedIn, please let us know in the chat before you go. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, Facebook coming in hot, flywheel, email. Love it, love it. Because we want to make sure that we are reaching people the best way we possibly can. And you telling us how you found out about this today lets us know how we're touching people, where they're hearing about us most in this opportunity. Small Business Center, go Alan Younger. Enterprise Center, email. Randon, you're welcome. Google search, all right. Okay, SG Adkins, WBC, Joy Nelson, awesome. Carol Davis, wonderful. Wonderful.
Hey,
Promise, how did you find out about it?
Ditra, this is Lorena.
Great. Yes, ma'am, Lorena.
Hey everyone, this is Lorena Munoz Holiday. Carla and I will be doing the same meeting in Spanish. I was taking notes to make sure I answer and I have an answer for all these questions, but please share with any other business member that you think that they will benefit for this information in Spanish. It will be this Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And I can copy again the link for those that want to share it for those that speak Spanish.
That is fantastic. I'm so excited. I'm going to be listening into the Spanish session, but I'm just going to be smiling the whole time because I will not understand a word. But it's going to be great.
Anyone is welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry. I have one very specific question. I had someone ask me if they qualify as a minority. It's Shireen of Delicious by Shireen. She is wondering about the definition of minority for purposes of this application. Can you clarify that?
Absolutely. African American or Black and Latinx or Latino businesses.
Only?
Thank you.
Only, yes. All right, and I am adding the link. Lorena may have done this as well. I'm adding the link to the Spanish version of this session, which she mentioned. Again, it's going to be Wednesday at 2 p.m. So there is that is not the right link. I'm sorry. I thought I copied and pasted the right thing. Forgive me. Let me try this again.
Yeah, I think I just added the Facebook link, like to share with everyone in their own pages.
So I apologize. That link that I posted first that says Spanish version, that is not it. It's the second one. That is the one that says web.winstonsalem.com, but it's also on our website. If you go to the calendar, you'll be able to pick it up there and have your friends register for that event. Okay, well, if there are no other questions and if all hearts and minds are clear, we will end today's session. Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you, Dietra.
You're welcome.